I recently spent 3 hours staring at a blank Google Doc, trying to write the perfect opening paragraph for this first video on this channel. I had the idea, I had the structure, but every sentence I typed, I immediately deleted because I thought it wasn't good enough and it wasn't profound enough. I was paralyzed by the idea of releasing something that wasn't immediately going to be perfect, something that might flop. I got up from my seat, I paced around, I made a coffee, and then I sat back down and did the exact same thing again. If you clicked on this video, you know exactly how this feels. You have a mountain of thoughts, an entire 10-step plan mapped out in your head, but your body is still sitting on the couch or lying in bed. You're living a full, vibrant life in the confines of your skull, while your actual physical existence is on pause. You're trading action for anxiety, and I can tell you from personal experience, that trade always leaves you broke. The lie you tell yourself is that you're preparing, that you're analyzing all the angles. You think overthinking is a sign of intelligence or precision, but it's not. It's a sophisticated form of procrastination. It's the brain mistaking a complex simulation for real-world movement, and it leaves you exactly where you started, exhausted, frustrated, and directionless. The problem, truly, is that you're carrying what I call idea debt. Now let me explain. Every single unexecuted thought, every text message you drafted and deleted, every business idea you mapped out but never started, it's mental debt. And that mental interest rate is crushing you. By the end of this video, I'm going to give you 3 practical strategies to help you stop paying that mental tax. The first step is realizing that overthinking isn't a bug, it's a symptom of a deeper problem, a psychological refusal to pay the price of imperfection. Think of every single idea as a simple transaction. To execute the idea, you have to pay a small processing fee. That fee could be bad results, critique from others, wasted time, or just straight up failure. Your brain, in its evolutionary wisdom, is trying to protect you from paying that fee. It says that if we just plan for a few more hours and think, we can bypass this fee and go straight to success. But that's a fantasy. Life isn't an open world game where you can restart from your last perfect save. There's no perfect opening move. If you want to stop overthinking, you have to embrace the payment. I used to overthink going to the gym. I'd spend hours a day researching the optimal 6-day split, tracking macros, and watching form videos until I was mentally exhausted. Then, I'd skip the workout entirely because I couldn't commit to the perfect plan. I was scared of looking stupid, scared of wasting the time if the routine wasn't optimal. The breakthrough came when I realized that the goal wasn't optimal results, it was to simply get my ass off the couch. The first few times I went, I felt weak and silly. I paid the fee. But guess what? After 3 weeks of suboptimal workouts, I was still 100 times further than I was while still optimally planning my way to a perfect physique. So stop planning, start paying. The debt won't clear until you act. Why do you scrutinize that first draft of an email for an hour? Because you've attached a disproportionate value to the outcome of that tiny interaction. You're treating every attempt like a casino fallacy. You believe you only have one spin to win the jackpot, so it must be perfect. You need to adopt the first draft rule. When you're overthinking, the advice is simple. Do it poorly, do it fast, and make it disposable. No one expects your first draft to be the final version. You have to grant yourself the permission to create garbage. That first email, that first workout, that first sentence of a script, it is meant to be bad. It's just a placeholder. When you start an endeavor, you're simply gathering data, and that data can only be gathered by actually doing the thing. When I first got the idea to start writing these videos, I was a wreck. I would agonize over the length of every sentence and the word choice. I treated the final script like a fixed object and I put too much pressure on it. A friend once told me to just write 1,000 words of pure trash, no deleting. And then when you're done, boom, that's your first draft. You can't edit a blank page. And that changed everything for me. I stopped fearing the outcome because the first outcome was pre-approved to be a mess. The purpose wasn't to write a good script. The purpose was to actually create the object that I could then go back and fix. Detaching from the perfect result is how you actually start creating the good result. Overthinking is a bad mental input that produces a negative emotional output, usually stress and inaction. The only way to stop that loop is to flood the system with a different kind of input. When you feel the paralysis creeping in, you need to replace your mental processing with physical movement. Your brain is essentially a runaway locomotive, and you're trying to stop it by throwing more mental energy at it. That doesn't work. You need to physically flip a switch. The analogy I use is simple. If you're thinking too much, you're not moving enough. You are consuming too much mental energy and not producing any physical output. I've found that one of the only ways to reset my brain is by getting uncomfortable and engaging with the physical world. I used to try to think my way out of anxiety. Now, when I catch myself spiraling into overanalysis, I have a protocol. I clean a section of my room, I go for a run, or I go outside. It's that simple. By forcing a physical input, a clean space, an elevated heart rate, cold air on my face, it breaks the mental feedback loop. The second I start physically moving, the mental problem shrinks. Your mind doesn't shut up because it's scared, it shuts up because it's occupied with the reality of the movement. It's the ultimate cheat code here. So, what's all of this for? Is it just about being more productive? No, man. It's just about being free. Overthinking keeps you trapped in a self-imposed prison of perfect future scenarios that simply will never happen. It keeps you from living life, which is something to be lived, not something to rush to the end of. The irony of trying to find the perfect way to live is that the only way to truly find it is to start living imperfectly. You need to trust the butterfly effect. That tiny, uncomfortable action you take today, that first imperfect step, is the flap of the wings that sets your entire life's trajectory in motion. So stop looking for that grand overarching purpose. Just find one thing to explore, get out of your comfort zone, and let the ball start rolling. You won't have all the answers. No one does. I for sure don't. But you will have some momentum, and that can get you further than you'd ever expect. So, does any of this resonate with you? Do you have an embarrassing story about the worst overthinking spiral you've ever been in? Share it down in the comments. Every comment could be the spark someone else needs to get moving in the right direction, and every reply can lead to something great. If you enjoyed this conversation we had and want to see more of my takes on the mental struggles that we all deal with on a day-to-day basis, consider subscribing so that these videos can help reach more people that are struggling. That's it for our talk today, and we'll talk again soon.